a sinner, left my lover crying on the dance floor. I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner.
I'm in. Welcome to more Selene. People wanted more of this. I hate my voice. I'm just gonna say people are very confused by that. That's not me joking around. I legitimately hate my voice. Did it? No, wrong button. If Ethan had to point out when things started to be off, he would say it was Saturday. That is about a week after the first letter. But this, of course, wouldn't be accurate. Those weird things started happening almost immediately after you pressed the send button. The first night he saw a room in his dreams. Couch? It does look like a comfy couch. A chipped white ceiling and the similar rough walls lit with fluorescent lamps. Ethan couldn't see the lamps themselves, but he recognized the cold shimmering light. They often use those lamps in the offices. The light filled the room to the brim. Ethan thought it was about to burst, and then the light would splash all over the room just like the juices from a squished tomato. The couch is scary. Apart from the walls, the light, the room had a red sofa. The sofa stood just a bit aside from the center, not too large, quite faded, flooded with shimmering white light. The light made the sofa seem to be trembling a little, and the room trembled with it. Twin Peaks looking room. I didn't even think of that. Suddenly, Ethan thought it would be way better if the sofa was standing right in the middle. Then he felt something on his temple, a touch. He had to flinch, scream, stumble to the side, yet he couldn't. He was paralyzed. Only his eyes could move, and they desperately tried to reach beyond his field of vision, where something was touching his temples. Ethan felt a faint flow of air, as if someone was whispering in his ear. He didn't hear the whisper, just one word. Ethan no longer remembered what the word was, and he jumped up in his bed, gasping for air. Hope muttered something in her sleep and turned to the other side. It took a long time to get back to sleep, but by morning Ethan did pass out, and when he woke up, the dream wiped out of his mind pretty quickly. You know what? I think we need to change this. Give me a second. Where is the thingy-mabobber? Is that it? No. That's for thumbnails. I need stream overlays. Thank you. There it is. Oh no. I feel like horror would be better. Hi. We should make that the white one. Oh, I can do this. Where's the white? Oh, bye. There. Quiet, chat. The task at hand interested him much more than the muck spilling out of his subconscious. He was thinking about the task while he was chewing on a morning toast, driving to the bank, and all the way back. It was just like a Christmas present waiting for its time in the closet. The more you tell yourself you shouldn't think about it, the more you do. At home, Ethan tried to stick to his plan, working on the project he was paid for, but ended up sitting over a single report for several hours. He couldn't squeeze out a letter. To hell with it. After all, he was almost done with his current project. It wouldn't be much of a problem if he presented the results a bit later now on, would it? Besides, it was really time for him to get a breather. Oh, one can't be spending so much time in a world where madness, curse, and death are contagious. To hell with it, Ethan thought as he closed the files of the project he was paid for. There was plenty of information, but Ethan knew he would not get an answer right away. The accurate answers, just like the precious pearls, lay at the great depths. He had to go down to the very bottom. Ethan was not afraid. He had done it many times. His computer might have to wait for a week or so, but Ethan knew he'll manage to crack the riddle. I'm sorry, was Batman in the background for a second? What he didn't know is what else could be found at those great depths. At some point in this investigations, things started happening. Okay, good, I'm not the only one that saw it. He started hearing sparse phrases, even though he never turned on the TV or radio, and Hope wasn't even at home. When he sat in front of the screen once again, trying to connect the dots in his research, he could feel someone looking at the back of his head. When he turned around, of course, there was no one in the room. Eventually, he taught himself not to turn around. He just got angry, pushing fingers into his temples when the familiar feeling appeared again. He started losing things. Or rather, things would disappear, then appear in the strangest places. I still can't find my purity seals from Warcraft. One day he found his pencil in the freezer, stuck in a minced meat briquette. Even when the briquette melted down, he couldn't pull the whole pencil out. All Ethan got was a bloody stump. Why, though? At this point, he could hold on. Okay. Sorry. At this point, he could stop to think of it, but got distracted by the coffee maker and mindlessly shoved the stump into the trash bin. There was something wrong with the shadows, too. They became sharper, thicker, and deeper, and it was the case in the whole apartment. Sometimes they moved. Of course, Ethan only felt like they were moving. It couldn't have been any other way. Ethan didn't really pay attention to any of this, just like he did with that he had dreamed. All of that seemed very familiar, as he already experienced familiar things during the periods of intense work, when his nervous system was exhausted by the workload. There always was a rational explanation: the stress, or those new, much more environmentally friendly light bulbs that Hope had installed all around the apartment. Besides, it's so easy to dismiss this sort of thing when you're deeply invested into something, and this question really got Ethan involved. Every time he seemed to get it right, his thought went off, like he was climbing a rock, but a safe ledge suddenly turned slippery, and the next thing he knew, he was at the bottom again. He never faced anything like that during his previous research. There were times he had to spend weeks or months looking for the right answer. Those were the tricky cases, but at least he could always tell how his research was progressing. This time, he stumbled in his tracks without knowing why, and that was all he could tell. Oh no, I'm gonna move. There. I'm gonna move. There. Oh, hold on. Oh, I see what's going on. I need to fix something. I bring that up a little. Yep, and there it goes. Don't knock Sailor Moon over. There we go. Fixie fixie. No, I saved Sailor Moon. She didn't fall. I saved her. She's safe. I put my little plushy thing. What is it called? I put Cleo on her, so she's safe. The week was over, but he still had nothing to send back to his contact. In his reply, Ethan asked a couple of questions. Not that he was really interested, just as a courtesy. And that's how their surprisingly excited email conversation started. I caught that with issue. With this, Ethan's contact grew to be something more. Something of a friend, maybe? He never asked how Ethan's work was progressing. This was the question Ethan asked himself, and the answer was never good for him. I'm actually surprised there's no Sailor Moon video games currently. I'd love to play one. Of course, he started sleeping badly. Falling asleep was easy, but he woke up many times during the night, sometimes in cold sweat. Ethan could not remember his dreams. Yeah, they're releasing a new Sailor Moon movie. Hold on. The night he woke up about 3 or 4 times. At first, Ethan was lucky enough to fall asleep almost immediately after he woke up. But at some point, his eyes got opened again. This time, the sleep wouldn't come. Ethan felt terribly thirsty. He found no slippers on the usual spot. The noise could wake up Hope, so he decided not to look for them, and only regretted it when approaching the kitchen. The floor was bloody cold. So cold that Ethan unconsciously looked down. What? Ethan, your shadow is turning into a woman. What is this? And when he was looking up again, he saw a shadow. No doubt the shadow belonged to a woman. I'm going to lower that because I know the chat's going to scream at me if I don't. How's that, chat? It's fine. A naked woman. Ethan could clearly see the point of her nipples. God damn it, game. I turned it off by accident, didn't I? Does that change anything? Oh, it doesn't. Oh no, that button doesn't work, guys. Yeah, that doesn't work. No wonder it's freezing cold in here. The shadow moved along. Remember, guys, this is not porn. Is this meant to be David Lynch? Yes, it is. It's David Lynch inspired. That's why you're seeing this. The shadow moved slowly along the wall, floating in a rectangular pool filled with moonlight. No. This game is safe for work. I legitimately promise you all this game is safe for work. It's a horror game. I'm not even playing with you. It is. And this is allowed as long as it's not sexual. She was dancing. She was dancing and humming silence in Ethan's ears was her music. Ethan was watching her, unable to move. He was paralyzed, just like back then in his dream, but he did not remember it. At that moment, he didn't remember anything at all. Couldn't think about anything at all. Got David Lynch inspired. Who's Lila? I know about Who's Lila, but I don't know the football game. That one you have to show me. What is this? He felt an itch in his eye and the momentary urge to blink. I know about Who is Lila. Is that the one that's done like the DOS game? Because I wanted to play that, but people warned me it would really bother me. Like my eyes and stuff. But I've seen I think it's called, his name is Super Great Friend? Weird way. I believe I sent it again? We'll do it in the next one. You know I like Lynch stuff and everything. So once again, to point out, this game is a horror game. There is no sexual content in it. Everything used is used for a purpose. And you can have nudity if it's part of the game, according to Twitch. And that wasn't really nudity, that was a shadow, just so people don't freak out. Extra content pages. Yes, the extra DLC is, if I remember, an art book, and I forgot what the other one is. And I suggest getting the art book, it's really nice. For a fraction of a second, he could only see the thick, viscous darkness. And when he opened his eyes again, there was no shadow anymore. The glowing rectangle shifted its place and now lay on the kitchen floor at Ethan's feet. He could see the cold white light flowing into seams between the tiles on the floor. For some reason, he took a deep breath and then stepped forward into the rectangle of lights. Nothing happened. What was supposed to happen? What did he really see? Did he really see anything? He walked deeper into the room, much bolder, grabbed a decanter and started to drink in big, greedy sips. Water streamed down his chin and chest, hitting the tiles on the floor and poured into the grooves of the seams. No, that wasn't a delusion. The kitchen was completely empty and the floor felt warm again. And yet, it wasn't a delusion. And all of this was begging for a rational explanation. That's why Ethan decided he should talk to Hope in the morning. Please don't. Wait, what? What? I've actually not clicked that. What is this? What is this? Devil is made of clay and tomato soup, just like any human being. What? You heard that, everyone? You're all made of tomato soup. Interview with the devil. It's getting late, and then I come. She serves tomato soup. This is very Lynch-like. She used to serve other things, but not anymore. I'm in the tomato soup. They both eat tomato soup. That's how I get in. Oh, that's a shame. Maybe I'll pick it up. What? Okay, this is new. Why does it say 69, you adults? That's cool. That's a neat little thing. Did you give up the apartment key? You know, by chance? What? God damn it, I have to mute it. Hope froze with a cup at her lips and blinked several times. Maybe you let someone in? I didn't. No. What's with those questions? I feel like someone is visiting our place. What do you mean? Exactly what I said. It's been a while since I started noticing random things vanishing, and yesterday Hope frowned. She looked at Ethan as if a toad had just popped out of his mouth. Yesterday, you... what? Say it bluntly, answer evasively. Thank you. It's just I get the problem is every time I hear a line that I did, I'm like, oh, I could have done that better. Because this is also an older mic that I use, because I think this was recorded a year or two ago. So I feel like I could have done it better. You guys want blunt? I mean, I hope Flat Chest continues to use me as a voice. I love them to death. They are some of the sweetest people. Them and Team Toffer. Team Toffer I have not worked with as a voice actress, but they are some of the most sweet, adorable people in the industry. I saw someone in our kitchen last night. Some girl. Hold on, what is this? January 11th. The new school is okay. I wish I could make friends with someone, though. Mom is working late again. It's fine. I've lifted a very heavy box when we moved in. Mom couldn't pick it up herself. I'm a big boy. Oh, I know which voice I should do. I'm a big boy now, and big boys aren't afraid of anything. I'll just turn on the lights and watch TV with Timo and my friends. Only the cool stuff with animals or robots or aliens, but not the creepy kind. June 11th. I had a really weird dream today. I hope it's okay. I'll go look for him. I should have closed the darn window. The deep line on Hope's forehead disappeared. She leaned back in her chair and laughed, throwing her head back. Oh, what a show you put on. Okay, fine, I confess. I did steal your cupcake. I mean, am I supposed to? I barely see you lately, so sweet pastries are my best shot to get some fun at night. Damn, I didn't realize you still remembered that cupcakes even exist. It was lying around the fridge for what? 3 days? Wow, I just can't read lines, can I? Jesus, I fucked up constantly in that, didn't I? Why didn't they have me redo the lines? I'm bad at things. Hope glanced at Ethan, expecting him to start laughing too, yet he still looked very serious. She noticed for the first time that the whites of his eyes were pinkish and full of broken capillaries. Her smile slowly faded. Come on, maybe you left the key unattended somewhere? I always leave my keys when I'm in the office, but I'm pretty sure there's no cat burglars among my colleagues. Come to think of it, we should have hired a bunch. That'd balance the risk of going broke we have on a monthly basis. You sure none of your colleagues would play a joke on us? A joke? Good God, Ethan. You look like you're about to eat me alive. Take a bun instead. Tastes better, trust me. Hope pulled her chair close to Ethan and took his hand. Please, hon, promise me you'll take a break after that project of yours is finished. I mean, I sort of agree. Yeah, the other thing is, I did the lines 2 different ways. If you guys see the lines are broken up. I started you'll see a little later in the game it comes off a bit more natural because I just started reading the lines all as together. And I think that worked better because originally I had to do each line by themselves, like each of these by themselves. And it felt stilted to me, so you can tell where it's stilted and where it's not. Worst critic for every artist is themselves, this is true. I mean, one psycho is enough for our family. You promise? Ethan suddenly felt like a total idiot. A tired idiot. A naked girl in their kitchen? Yeah, sure. He probably overworked to the point he started being delirious at times. Maybe even walked in his sleep. He squeezed Hope's fingers lightly. I promise. Sorry, I'm a moron. I probably stopped seeing the difference between dream and reality. Why don't you call Laura? No, a shrink is the last thing I need right now. My bad, sure, but that'd be just too cruel. What I need is to finish this project. After that, all the gears in my head will fall into place. I give my word. Oh, don't be like that. I mean, there's no need to start full-fledged therapy anyway. Sometimes, talking through your worries with a professional is all it takes to feel better. At least I shouldn't have pressed you on it. I get that you have enough problems of your own right now. How's it going with your new position? Hope rested her head on his shoulder and shrugged. Not fired yet, apparently. Seriously though, I haven't figured it out yet. Those new responsibilities are exciting, but I always feel like I'm 10 times slower than I should be. I should probably get ready for a nice, fat piece of overtime by the end of the month. Ethan kissed her forehead, closed his eyes, and squeezed the bridge of his nose. Well, I'm not a head of a department as of yet, but I seem to have the same stuff on my plate. Just how do you manage not to pester me with your stupid questions? Well, I eat cupcakes at night. You should give it a try. Hope poked Ethan's cheek a couple of times with her finger.
Anyway, don't worry. I didn't give keys to anyone, and the only cat anything I've let inside was an actual stray cat. Now that I think of it, it's been ages since we had any company. Maybe we should.
A cat? What cat? Hope sighed and pulled away.
Please don't get all worked up, okay? At least I'm being open with you. Don't worry, she didn't wander around.
Hope, we've talked about this over already.
We've talked over what? The fact that what I want doesn't really matter?
Damn it, Hope. This is my apartment
And you're staying here alone now?
Hope finished her tea in a couple of gulps.
I have to go to the office.
She stopped at the door, not turning around.
Sorry about the cat.
Everyone get mad at Ethan.
She was really skinny, and I felt sorry for her. I also feel sorry for myself, Ethan, because I'm lonely. Really lonely.
This time Ethan felt like an angry idiot. He got up from the table and reached for Hope. Hope,
Don't. I'll start crying. It'll take time. And I don't have any to spare right now. See you tonight.
See you tonight. He didn't know what else to say, so he followed Hope into the hall like a silent shadow. He thought the words would come to him, but the entrance door closed and he remained silent. Ethan sighed. He regretted his decision. Fuck you S's. To talk about the night episode. He regretted how the talk turned out. He felt sorry for himself and for Hope. After all, Ethan was well aware of that, and he really didn't spend enough time with her. At first, because of the agency project. Now, because of the question to which he still could not find the answer. It was time to end this. He was going to make coffee. Then he'll open the laptop and write up the answers. It won't be an accurate one, but it's really time to finish that work marathon. After all, he doesn't even get paid for his time. Ethan nodded to the closed door and turned around, ready to execute the plan. That's when he saw her. Just for a split second, but damn it, he saw her. Black-haired girl flashed in the doorway of one of the rooms. Not even flashed, but drifted. Like Ethan's mouth went dry. Shadow. Of course, there was no one in the room. This has gone too far. Ethan had gone too far, but he couldn't turn back, even though he was going to. He didn't make any coffee. He wanted to get rid of the question, get a good night's sleep, and forget about the whole thing. Forget about the shadow that danced in his kitchen. Forget about the pale silhouette that wandered through his apartment. Forget that this very moment someone is looking at the back of his head, and that look makes his skin feel as cold as the kitchen floor last night, and the hairs one by one stand on end. Ethan clenched his teeth, not with anger, but with some new emotion he couldn't have. He couldn't name or have. The blood hummed in his ears louder and louder. It will all be over after he writes the letter. It'll all be over. He opened his laptop. The hands were shaking a little. I was putting his fingers over the keyboard when his cell phone rang. Ethan flinched. He stared blankly for a few seconds as the vibrating rectangle of glass and plastic crawled across the table. Do not answer. Don't do it. Suddenly grabbed the phone and pushed the accept button. Ethan himself didn't know what happened. He just did it, after all. Joke's on you, I never answer my phone. The phone pressed tight against his ear. He waited for a hoarse, gurgling voice to call his name and tell him to look behind. Or what is supposed to happen in cases like this. Stop showing my character.
Ethan?
God damn it. You know, the devs have got to be laughing their asses off. Flat chest, if you in here, stop laughing at me. I'm sensitive. I'm a sensitive girl. Hope?
Were you expecting someone else, you dolt? Okay, sorry. I'm super uneasy, and so I'm talking nonsense.
Yeah, I'm uneasy too. And that was completely true.
Look, am I distracting you right now?
You are, and I'm very happy about that. Go on, please.
That's great. Look, it didn't come off well at breakfast, right?
Yes. I'm sorry I'm being awful.
No, I'm sorry. Both of us have it hard now, so let's try not to fight, okay?
I think that one I did about 5 takes for. Where's my audio thing? I'm pretty sure I did about 5 takes of that one. Great idea.
Why don't we go out tonight? Save for groceries? Counts as going out, if you ask me. I'll go crazy being cooped up like that.
Oh, so that's what's driving me nuts? Should go out for zucchini more often.
So what do you say?
Yes, she does. Yes, she fucking does, and I did that on purpose. Okay, we're going to buy all the zucchini tonight. Hope laughed. Ethan suddenly realized that the blood wasn't buzzing in his ears. No one was looking at the back of his head, and if he turned around, he would only see Hope's socks that she'd left on the chair again. Hope, I love you.
I love you too, very much. See you tonight.
After finishing the call, he turned around. The socks were resting peacefully on the chair, which meant everything was okay. He went back to the mail and only then noticed several new letters. 2 of them were from his counterpart. Ethan hesitated. He had already decided his course of action concerning the questions, so there was no harm in taking a look. He won't feel any guilt. After all, he had already done far more than he should have. Of course, he is a lifesaver for those wanting to sell books mentioning historical accuracy, but having no intentions to pay for it properly. So what? He doesn't have to do a perfect job for free. Hell, he doesn't even work for free. That's what Ethan thought. Then he opened 2 letters he got and changed his highly reasonable decision. His counterpart was asking how soon he could get an answer. This happened, after all. The tone was very polite and apologetic. He wasn't expecting anything, but he really, really needed the help of someone competent. According to email, he wasn't doing very well. Poor man had been suffering from insomnia for an insane amount of time, and it seemed that he too began imagining things. It was as if Ethan saw himself from the outside. He suddenly felt very sorry for his acquaintance. Of course he had begun to feel sorry for him earlier, but now Ethan felt a sharp, bitter pity. He realized that if he helps his acquaintance, he will help himself. But if he steps back now, what is the value of a specialist who is afraid of a little challenge? As Hope once said, a career ladder is made of a thorn. Of course, he no longer worked in an office, but professional growth requires twice as much effort if you're self-employed. And besides, Ethan had Hope. Hope who never gives in so easily and forgets her socks on the chair. Hope who loves him very much. Hope who will go to the store with him tonight, because being cooped up like that can drive one crazy. This must be what is happening to his acquaintance right now. Ethan had to help him. But not because of money, but because he could, and because it was the right thing to do. They will finish their project, and then they will have a good rest. They might even go out for a glass of beer together. So Ethan thought, and got back to the question with newfound strength. I should have gotten some water. The page of the book did not rustle in the far corner of the room. The shadows weren't wandering in the corridor, and certainly no one looked at the back of his head until the evening. And in the evening, Hope came back. Hope looked up from her magazine and leaned over the armrest.
You had a call from the agency?
Ethan just got back from the shower. He froze in place, clutching the towel at his waist. Something cold stirred uncomfortably in his stomach. The project. He had completely forgotten about the agency project, and it had been more than 2 weeks. Yeah, I love the art and the backgrounds. They work well together. I've been drawn to the paintings in the background because I've seen them before. I'm pretty sure those are classical paintings. The deadline was very close. He started for the phone, but Hope just waved her hand lazily.
Don't worry, I picked it.
What did you tell them?
I told them you'd stop eating, sleeping, and loving anything other than work, so they'll get those files all nice and shiny.
Can you tell I was fucking with the mic at some point in this? I think that one was recorded maybe when I got this mic. Yeah, I think it was. We were trying to fix the
Pretty
audio
accurate,
issues.
huh?
Yeah. Just don't pick up my phone again, okay? Hope shrugged.
Sure. I mean, it was you who asked me to answer the calls in the first place.
Yeah, I know. When I started working for them, it was important to let them see I am always in touch. Now that I've passed the probation period, there is no point in pilling this on you any longer. Thanks for covering for me.
No problem. If you're getting a call, and I'm not too lazy to go pick it up, I can watch your back.
No, you really shouldn't. This project is complicated. They just keep asking me what 1 + 1 is. I'd rather deal with it myself. Ethan set rigid. Flat chest. I caught it. Spelling mistake number 1, chat. No, 2. I think this is the second one I've caught. No, flat chest, you're professional. I'm kidding, by the way. Everyone in the chat is just going, Ethan set rigid. No. Oh, I should have grabbed some water. Darn it. Darn it, Sauce. I never do that before I do audio. He never considered himself a good liar. But Hope didn't seem to notice anything. She sighed, pretending to be upset, and rolled her eyes.
Well now, guess I'm being fired from an unpaid security position without any honors or compensation. Capitalism sucks.
I think there's 3 clips of me saying that too. I think I did that three different ways, but I can't remember. Some audio I did a couple of different ways, and I don't know if they added it, but there was some bloopers. Ethan leaned over, tucked a strand of blonde hair behind her ear, and looked into her eyes. His hand remained on Hope's cheek. Your help is very important to me. Hope's hand went over his. She closed her eyes.
I know.
I couldn't have done it without you.
What else is new?
They kissed. Mwah. Then, when Hope pulled away, she looked pleased, a sly smile on her lips. Are we still going to the store?
I'm not sure.
They reached for each other again, but the phone gave a shrill ring. Got cock-blocked by a phone. After the phone call this morning, Ethan turned the silent mode off. Oh well. My city needs me. Ethan briefly pressed his lips to her forehead. Hope sighed and slapped his ass. I forgot that was in there. Oh, that's great.
If God existed, he'd really want us to buy some zucchinis. I'll go and get dressed.
The call was from the agency. They needed more details and dates. Ethan went out into the hallway and tried to make it sound as plausible as he could. Yes, he understands that the deadline is very close. Give me my zucchinis. No, there was no serious hitches in the work. Yes, he will send everything on time. When the call finally ended, Ethan's neck and face were flushed by this time. He was a lousy liar after all. Ethan had to catch his breath. When he returned to the room, Hope was reaching for his laptop. What are you doing? Hope glanced over the shoulder. This time she looked surprised.
Nothing special, really. I just wanted to print out some discount coupons. What about it?
Fuck. Ethan left a bunch of files and tabs open. They had nothing to do with the agency project. He didn't want Hope to see them. After all, she did know enough about his projects to serve as a sort of secretary. For some reason, I keep saying security, and I think I did that in the recording and they didn't catch it. About all the projects except the one that Ethan shouldn't have taken because it wasn't paid for. Maybe his fears were irrational. Hope wouldn't blame him. But Ethan felt ashamed, and he didn't want to take any chances after what had happened this morning. I have lots of unsafe files in there. Some important information might get lost. Can I print those coupons myself? Ethan felt the heat rise again from his neck and cheeks. Hope stared at him for a few seconds. Ethan couldn't read the expression on her face, and that creeped him out. He was ready to hear the reproaches. He even agreed with them in his mind, but Hope simply walked away. Sometimes.
Sure.
Oh, fuck you.
I'll send them to your mail.
And that's where we're going to leave it today.